Let me start with a simple reality check. If a school has no usable girls' toilet, no water, no privacy, and a girl is forced to manage her period in shame, then the question is not comfort. The question is her dignity being denied? Is her education being disrupted? And is this a constitutional problem? Today, we're discussing the Dr. Jaya Thakur versus Union of India judgment, wherein the Honorable Supreme Court of India addresses menstrual hygiene management in schools and issues a detailed compliance framework because menstrual hygiene is now supposed to be a part of Article 21. The court has approached this not as a one-off scheme, but as a compliance problem which leads to attendance issues, participation, and dignity in education. The judgment deals with these core constitutional issues. Number 1. Education as a foundational right. The court reiterates that education is not charity, it is central to dignity and development. It even cites the idea of education as a multiplier right, meaning access to education unlocks the enjoyment of other rights. So when menstruation becomes a barrier to schooling, it's not a minor inconvenience, it strikes at the heart of equal access. Number 2. Substantive equality is not just formal equality. The court's reasoning is clearly rooted in substantive equality. Equality is not achieved by pretending everyone has the same starting point. If menstruation creates a predictable barrier for girls, then providing basic menstrual hygiene and support is not some special treatment, but is only equalizing access to everyone. Third, Article 21, Dignity, Health and Reproductive Health. Now this is the heart of the judgment. The court reiterates that Article 21 means life with dignity and not mere survival. Then it connects Article 21's rights to health and to menstrual health in clear terms. If health includes physical, mental and social well-being, then by implication, a menstruating girl child's access to safe MHM practices is also a part of that right. The court also recognized that lack of access forces girls into unsafe environments, alternatives, and harming health and dignity, which is now a matter of national concern. Now, fourth, and the turning point where the court noticed about the participation of girls in school. The court notes that stigma, stereotype, and neglect around menstruation creates real barriers. Where schools don't provide clean toilets, absorbents, and disposals, girls either stay absent or drop out, which directly and indirectly affects participation in schooling and activities and overall affects their education. Now here is what makes the judgment very, very important. It converts constitutional reasoning into an operational measurable directions which the Supreme Court has passed in this judgment. Now the directions given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India come under majorly 4 heads. Let me briefly tell you about what these directions are. Number 1 is toilets and washing facilities. The Honorable Supreme Court has directed that every school, whether it's a government-run school or whether it's a privately managed school, urban or rural in that sense, must have functional gender-segregated toilets with usable water connectivity. Toilets designed and maintained to ensure privacy and accessibility, and hand-washing facilities with soap and water available at all times for both men and women. Number 2, pads must be readily accessible, preferably through vending machines within the toilet premises. Number 3, every school must establish menstrual hygiene management corners which are equipped with essentials like spare innerwear, spare uniforms, disposable bags and other material which is necessary to address emergencies. Now for the disposal of sanitary waste, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has directed that every school must have a safe, hygienic and environmentally compliant disposal mechanism for sanitary waste, which is also aligned with the applicable solid waste norms. And every toilet should have a covered waste bin system and a system of regular disposal of maintenance so that hygiene does not collapse at the final step. Now, fourth and the most important part pertains to awareness and correct training. The Honorable Supreme Court has directed that NCERT and SCERT must incorporate gender-responsive curriculum, especially on menstruation, puberty, and related health concerns like PCOS, PCOD. So stigma reduces through education. And all teachers, whether they are male or female, must be trained and sensitized on menstrual hygiene and how to support girls and especially school girls in such circumstances and times. The availability of Jan Aushadhi Suvidha oxo biodegradable pads must be widely disseminated through multiple media formats, and child helpline information linked to RTE framework should also be disseminated and made aware to all concerned parties. Now, in the later part of the judgment, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has also fixed the accountability mechanism system, and this is not symbolic. Now, the compliance architecture is as such that the court places a monitoring duty on the district education officer. The main duties which are given to a district education officer pertain to periodical inspections, specifically checking toilets, washing absorbents, water disposal, and training measures. The DEO must also collect anonymous feedback from the students through a tailored survey and must also, in view of Section 18 of the RTE Act, submit a compliance structure and report with annexures to notice that complete transparency is there and to make sure that complete accountability is ensured. Importantly, the Supreme Court says, given the nature of the case, the union must satisfy the court on substantial compliance, and the court issues a continuing mandamus, meaning the file still remains alive and the compliance is expected across all states. So what does this judgment mean for everyone concerned, including the parents, kids, girls, and the teachers? It means that menstrual hygiene in schools is not a nice to have. It is now framed as a constitutional dignity plus health plus educational compliance issue and is considered to be a matter of a fundamental right. Schools and administrations must think in systems, facilities and access and disposal and training mechanisms need to be now made operative in accordance with the directions given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in this judgment. Now here's my on-record checklist for you. Does your school have the water, privacy, pads, disposable and a trained staff? Yes or no? Comment करें compliant, not compliant and unsure, and share this with one parent, one teacher and one school administrator, because rights don't work on paper, they work in the classrooms.